Alright, folks, gather round, because today we're talking about the English setter. Yeah, I know, you're probably thinking, an English setter. What is this? A dog with a fancy accent that prefers tea over coffee. But hold up, before you dismiss this breed as just another pretty face, let's break it down. Because owning an English setter is like having a friend who's both charming and completely insane. You're going to love them one minute and then wonder what you've done the next. Let's dive in, shall we? 1. The look, all grace, all day. You ever see a dog and just think, damn, that's a good-looking dog. That's the English setter. It's like the dog world's version of a supermodel. And I'm not talking about some dog that's cute in a I'm trying hard way, no, I mean, this dog wakes up looking flawless. The long, silky coat, the elegant build, this dog could walk down a runway, stop, give a head tilt, and the crowd would lose its mind. But here's the kicker, while it looks like it should be in some royal portrait, it's actually a complete disaster at home. Why? Because all that beauty is covered in dirt after about 15 minutes of play. So much for that high-maintenance glamour, huh? You're going to need a lifetime subscription to a grooming service because the English setter's coat requires attention. If you're not ready to pull out the brush every day, maybe stick to a dog that doesn't require a full-time beauty regimen. 2. Energy. Can we just chill? Alright, I'm not saying the English setter is hyperactive on some sort of Olympic athlete level. But this dog, it doesn't know the meaning of chill. These guys have boundless energy and seem to think every second is a perfect time to run across the yard like they're auditioning for a role in a nature documentary. If you think you can just take your setter for a quick walk around the block, you're in for a surprise. You might think you're doing them a favor by keeping things low-key. But before you know it, your dog is pulling you down the street like it's in a race, and you're just hanging on for dear life. And if you don't give them the exercise they need, they'll start entertaining themselves by digging holes in the backyard or chewing on something important, like your shoes. Or your sofa. Or that pile of bills you've been avoiding. It's a non-stop whirlwind. 3. Trainability, the rebel without a cause. We all know that dogs, just like humans, have personalities, right? Some are quick learners, some are stubborn as a brick wall. The English setter. Well, it's a little of both. Trainability is not their strongest suit. Sure, they'll learn things like sit and stay if you're persistent, but don't expect them to be the next obedience champion. Here's the thing, English setters were bred to be independent hunters, so they'll do what they think is right, whether or not you agree. They've got a mind of their own. And if you think you're going to teach them a command and have them follow it right away, you're probably going to spend the next hour chasing them around the house with a treat. But, hey, once you get them trained, you'll feel like you've just conquered Mount Everest. It's a great sense of accomplishment, like you just beat the system. But until then, enjoy your mini adventures in Where Did the Dog Go land. 4. Affection, just enough to keep you hooked. Here's the deal, the English setter is like the dog equivalent of your favorite cousin, they're loving and fun, but they know when to give you space and when to cuddle like there's no tomorrow. They've got that perfect balance of affection. They're not over the top cuddly like a lap dog, nor are they so aloof that they act like they don't know who you are. The setter gives you just enough affection to keep you hooked. But don't expect them to be Velcro dogs. They're independent, remember. You'll definitely get love from your setter, but they're not the kind of dog that will follow you into the bathroom, crying for attention. They're too busy planning their next adventure. 5. Social butterflies, but maybe too much. The English setter is a social creature. If they were a person, they'd be the type who loves going to parties and meeting new people. Seriously, this dog is friendly with everyone. They'll probably make friends with the mailman, the neighbors, and maybe even the UPS guy. If there's a stranger in the house, the setter is there like, hey, do you want to pet me? What's your name? I'm a dog. I love you already. But here's the thing, their enthusiasm can be a little much for people who aren't into too much dog. If you have a guest who's not a fan of jumping, tail-wagging enthusiasm, your setter might just have to dial it down a bit. They'll try to become best friends with everyone, and not all guests will appreciate their over-the-top welcome committee. 6. Good with kids. But watch that energy. If you've got kids, listen up, English setters love kids. They're playful, energetic, and ready for a game of fetch or chase at any moment. They're the dog that will join in on the tag game and probably run faster than your kids can handle. They'll make great companions for an energetic little human. But here's the catch: if your child is still in that fragile phase, maybe think twice. English setters are bouncy and energetic, and while they're generally good-natured, they sometimes forget their size and strength when they're excited. A huge dog running at full speed might accidentally knock over a toddler. Not to mention, with all that energy, they could be a little overwhelming to the small ones. 7. Grooming, your new full-time job. Do you love brushing hair? No, I mean really love it. Because the English setter has a lot of it: long, silky hair that's beautiful but also a magnet for dirt and tangles. You've got two choices here. Brush your dog regularly. Become best friends with your local groomer. Because if you leave that coat unchecked, it's going to get matted, tangled, and filthy. The good news: you'll be rewarded with a dog that looks like it's been plucked right out of a fancy ad for dog shampoo. But trust me, you're going to spend hours combing through that glorious coat if you want it to stay in tip-top shape. 8. Health, not as fragile as you think. People like to say that purebred dogs are prone to all sorts of health issues, right? But English setters don't fall into the same category of being sickly and fragile. Sure, like all dogs, they're at risk for things like hip dysplasia and eye issues, but for the most part, they are pretty resilient. However, don't expect your setter to just exist without a little extra care. They do better with regular exercise, a balanced diet, and a vet checkup every now and then. If you give them that, they're likely to be happy and healthy for a long time. 9. Longevity, a lifetime of love. Speaking of health, you're looking at a dog that's going to stick around for a long time, 10 to 12 years, which is a pretty solid run. The English setter will grow old with you, still ready to play fetch at 10 years old if you let them. They're not the type of dog that slows down for the sake of it. You'll get years of energy, love, and devotion from this dog. They won't just be your pet, they'll be your adventure buddy for life. 10. The final verdict, worth the ride. So, is an English setter the right dog for you? If you're looking for a dog that's not just a pretty face but also fun, energetic, loving, and a bit of a handful, then yes, this breed might just be your new best friend. But if you're someone who likes things calm, predictable, and low maintenance, you might want to reconsider. The English setter is not a dog that fits into the quiet and composed box. It's a dog that's constantly moving, constantly playing, and always looking for the next adventure. But hey, if you're up for the challenge and ready for a lifetime of joy, chaos, and a ridiculously good-looking dog to share it all with, then go ahead. The English setter is waiting to change your life forever.